I've got a nice little tutorial here today. I'm going to do this nice, quick, and easy. Like I keep saying, I'm still working on my format here. I put down a nice little scrap piece of foam floor mat, so there's a little contrast instead of that white. I saw on the videos it's a little hard to see. But I'm going to show basic LED use and what they call stacking, which is putting LEDs in a chain. Now, you have two basic types of LED voltage. You've got like your reds and yellows are a 2 volt. Now, a lot of your others are 3.2 volt. Now, you can test them out. I've showed it before. I'm going to use some of my little ultraviolet LEDs again. Now, if you ever look, and it's hard to see on this, but I'll bring this up closer, you have a long leg and a short leg. Okay, these are, let me see if I can make a, there we go. So you have a long leg and a short leg. Now, your long leg will be your positive. Your short leg will be your negative. So always remember that and keep them in order. Your voltage can only flow positive to negative, positive to negative. Okay, with that being said, we're going to set up a very basic circuit here. Okay, let me get this piece of paper. Now I've got it wrote down like 3.2 volt and 2 volt. So you will have a basic battery, okay, and you have the positive side and you have the negative side. Now you have your LED lights. I know, my drawing is horrendous tonight. Okay. Now, when you set this up, okay, I'll make this accurate. Okay, so that's your long one. So what you'll do is you will attach a wire from your positive, put it to a switch, that symbol for a switch, bring it around, it connects to the positive. Now this negative will connect to that positive. So negative to positive. This negative to that positive. This negative, boop, to there. So now you have 3 LEDs that are 3.2 volt. Say this is a 9 volt. Okay, 3.2, 3.2, 3.2. So you have 9.6 volts that you can put through this, because with their resistance, they add the resistance and you can stack the voltage across. That's where the term stacking comes from. So if they're all 3.2, you can stack it up and you get a 9.6. Since this just puts out 9 volt, woohoo, smiley face, you're good. Now, if you use yellows and reds, they are mainly 2 volt. So you would actually have to have another one in here instead, okay, that still only gives you 8 volts. Ooh. So, you put a resistor in here, okay? So, that resistor will make it safe for those 4 that are 8 volt to run off that 9 volt battery. Okay, I know this seems a little confusing, so I'm going to try to, this is the basic. You could go on and there are probably 100,000 tutorials or websites that show you different LED use. I'm going to bare bones strip it down, okay? So, we've got our LEDs, and this is how bare bones I did it. I took a 9 volt battery. I soldered wires to it, okay? I didn't worry about a fancy clip. This is just to touch it to show that it works, okay? So that's going to be off to the side. Now, these are 3 UV lamps, okay? So we've got these here. Alright, I'm going to pull out my little helping hands. Alright, so we have the long one and the short one. Okay. Now what I'm going to do long one, short one. Okay, we'll bring these very close together. Okay, I'm going to trim them down because I don't need all this extra. Okay, this is just to stack them up, show you what it's like. Okay, I'm not going to get fancy. All right, you'll need solder or solder, however you decide to pronounce it. It's called solder. Okay, I buy these little packs at Hobby Lobby. I get 3 of them. After coupon, it comes out like $5 or $6. It works pretty good for me. It's not the fanciest, but it works. I'm not doing any fancy circuits. If I really wanted to go fancy, I special order some really high quality, but for most of my throwaway circuits, this is it. And your soldering iron, okay? You can do this on a breadboard, whatever, but if you're attaching it to something, you're going to need to do stuff like this, okay? So, connect that joint up pretty good, okay? Give it a second to cool. I will sometimes just grab it, but I can handle hot stuff, so it's not that bad. This will be hot, okay? Alright, see, it's all nice together. Okay, so we're going to move this over to here. Okay, we know this is positive, this is the negative. So we're going to pull the next one. Okay, so positive, and that'll be the negative. Okay, pull this together. Yet again, I'm going to trim these down. Just because I'm... Okay, and you don't have to be fancy. You can have other stuff if you want. I just have a lot of tools for electronics. So, I even have like really fancy testers and everything else. So, alright. Put this joint together. Same way. It's not the prettiest, but it works. Alright. Now, with this circuit, it's all put together, okay, so that I can denote where the negative is. I want to trim this off. I can feel that that wire is still pretty hot down there. Okay. So I have a basic stacked LED array. Okay. So, I'm going to take my little 9-volt battery. Okay. Touch the negative there. Positive there. Oh. Okay. And it lights them up. Like I said, this is just basic for effect. Okay. And they're working. Those are 3.2 volt bulbs, and they're all connected to a 9 volt. But because when you put them in a series, they cut the load. You stack them. So when you do that, now if you hook these in parallel, where you have positive and negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, and you hook a line this way, it cuts the resistance so you can run it on a smaller battery. What's bad about that is you could run those on a 3-volt circuit. They'll light up, but they will drain that battery faster. Even though they're cutting the load, it's a lower amperage battery, so you won't last as long. That's why I like to go more the heavy duty. If you do these where they stack, I had an array of LEDs set up in an assembly. There's 18 high intensity bulbs. They ran on a switch. You squeeze the switch, it lights them up. They ran over a year of just playing around with that array before I had to change out the battery. And I was using it all the time and all that. So, the better the battery, the bigger the battery, the longer you're going to last. That's just saying. Okay, so that's 3 of the 3.2 volt. Now, I'm going to teach you about using a resistor. Now, these are some yellows. They're 2 volt. Okay? So, same deal. These are a little shorter pins, but the long one is your positive, short one is your negative. Okay? I'm not going to trim these down because, well, they're short enough as it is. Okay. Alright. Just be careful with soldering irons. They are very hot. I've had this one 26 years, changed the tips every couple of years. It's my go-to guy. I don't know if that... Yeah, that connected. Okay. Sometimes I gotta double check. Okay. Alright. Now, if you get these out of order and attach 2 negatives to each other, circuit's not going to work. You have to go pos to neg, okay? Alright. So I said this is just a quick, basic tutorial about stacking LEDs. And now, you don't have to hook them right to each other like this. You could actually, like, you could put them each individually with a piece of wire between them. As long as you follow that daisy chain effect, you're good. I'm just doing this to make it simpler. But you could have lights all over, and they're all hooked as one circuit. I've done multiples like that too, and hooked them to a circuit where I've had lights going off in different spots. Okay. I'm gonna trim that down just so I can denote when I put it together. Well, I'm going to be putting the resistor on it, so okay. Now, here is the fun part, okay? The resistor. You got different types. This is just the basic one. This is a 470. Usually when I buy big bundles of LEDs, they send me a whole bunch of assorted resistors. Okay, I won't get into all the thing on it, but there's little lines. You can go on and they have a calculator that tells how to calculate the value of these. This is just going to be a basic. A 470 will cut this down enough that I can run that 9 volt on it with no problem. I know this for a fact because I've done it before, but if you want to get all fancy with it, they have the calculators for it. Like I said, this is just a basic. I'm not trying to give you all the knowledge in the universe. This is just a quick okay. Now, alright. Now this circuit's all put together. Now, so we have 4 lights that are 2 volts each. So 2, 4, 6, 8 volts with the resistor. Now, a lot of people will tell you if you run an LED chain, it's best to put a resistor on. True. I didn't run it on this. I didn't run it on the little LED mask that I did a video on because I know it can handle it. Those are quick and easy projects. If you're building something like a sword that lights up, anything else, and you want it to last, add a small resistor into the circuit. And I'll tell you why. It just helps the wear and tear on the circuit. But you've got to make sure you've got a battery that's pushing the circuit, because if you put too much of a resistor on it, it'll be really dim and won't work. That's why I said these little 470s do pretty good. They just cut it down enough on the circuit. So now I'm going to set this down, pull out my little tester 9 volt. Okay. I'm going to touch it to the positive side, touch it to the negative, and as you can see, it lights up. And they're not super bright and ready to blow. Working on a 9 volt circuit. So that is just quick video on how to stack up LED lights. You can experiment more with it. Get you a halfway decent soldering iron. You can go online. eBay's a good place. Get a big bundle pack of LEDs. I bought one of these years ago at Walmart because I would buy big bundle packs, and I have my LEDs sorted out and even have their voltages wrote on it so that I know. I've got stuff in here. Where are they? Oh, don't know if I've got them in here still. Nope, they're in the other case. I have the 3-color LEDs, the red, green, blue LEDs. I'll have to shoot a little video on how to use those because that's a whole new beast. But hopefully this video helps. Like I said, it's just a real quick basic knowledge on it. So hope it helps you get started. Have fun and experiment.